Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Owen Finch, and I am the Wrestling Rundown Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion. And I am here to give you another review in the review series for WWE Marquee Matches. This is going to be the third episode. And this episode, once again, was hosted by Charlie Caruso. I'm guessing she's just going to host every episode. Now, what I find kind of ironic about this episode is the last Marquee match reviews. I reviewed the 2008 Royal Rumble, and now I'm reviewing the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble match, which is 10 years later. And boy, has the state of WWE changed pretty significantly after 10 years. I can't believe that this was only 10 years apart. So let's talk about this show. So, obviously, the biggest, this Royal Rumble match, if you think about it build-up-wise, really wasn't anything special. It was just another Royal Rumble match. But some significant things that went down in the build-up to this Royal Rumble was this was going to be the first time ever that there was going to be two Royal Rumble matches in one night, where since we had this match, and then in the main event, we had the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. And it was the first and only time ever so far that the WWE have done two Royal Rumble matches in one night. I kind of hope that it's the only time they do that, because when you have two Royal Rumble matches in one show, it kind of burns out the crowd. And yeah, it just kind of... I just hope it's the only time they do that. But obviously, we'll have to wait and see. I have a feeling that if it's going to be a new thing, so it's just going to have to be something we get used to. So, let's kind of talk about the history going into the show. Well, there wasn't really any feuds going on in this show. The real history of this show is kind of what was going on with the Royal Rumble from the time of 2012 to 2017. Now, and actually, I can even say maybe even 2011. But the Royal Rumble around this time really started to get devalued. And I think the reason is because they always had the wrong guy win the Royal Rumble match. And while it wasn't as noticeable in the first two times I'm going to mention, but by the time it got to 2014 to 2017, then it kind of started to get a little bit more noticeable. Now, let's kind of list these off. Now, the last time the white guy had won the Royal Rumble match was, I guess you could say, 2011 in Alberto Del Rio, considering the fact that he was a new star. But really, who cared? The last time, because I was actually going to say originally in 2010, in the 2010 Royal Rumble match when Edge won it and returned from his Achilles tendon injury. But I guess if you technically want to say the last time the right guy won the Royal Rumble match was 2011 when it was won by Alberto Del Rio, because he was a new star that they were trying to push. So I guess that would be the last time. I like to say 2010 because I never really was a big Alberto Del Rio fan, so that's probably why I would say 2010, but that's just me. Let's kind of go over the other Royal Rumble matches that have taken place. So, 2012, it should have been Chris Jericho since he had just returned after being on a hiatus since 2010, and they were really building up something big with him, and he really should have returned and won the Royal Rumble. It was the only thing that Chris Jericho hadn't done since he had been in WWE. That would have been the perfect opportunity. It really would have established him. Instead, they gave it to Sheamus, and well, you can kind of see on their end, because Sheamus was a new star, it was still the one person overall that won. Then 2013, it really should have been Ryback. Ryback was a new star that they were really trying to push and cram it down everybody's throats. He had, come very close on a number of occasions of defeating CM Punk for the WWE Championship, but instead they gave it to John Cena so they could build up to another John Cena versus Rock 2 twice in a lifetime match at WrestleMania 29. That was stupid. The only reason Cena would have been better is if CM Punk had retained the WWE Championship against The Rock later on in the night, and it would have been John Cena versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 29 in the main event for the WWE Championship, but that's not what happened. And then 2014, let's get into that. Obviously, they gave it to Batista. Batista had come back after 4 years of being gone from WWE, but this was at the rise of Daniel Bryan's popularity because, Daniel Bryan was doing the whole yes movement. It really would have made sense for him to come out and win this Royal Rumble match. And it's not even the worst thing is that Daniel Bryan didn't win. It's the fact that they didn't even put the most over guy in the match. And you had to feel bad for somebody like Rey Mysterio, who came out at number 30 and got booed out of the building. I felt bad for Rey Mysterio. But it wasn't that they hated Rey Mysterio. They just didn't. They wanted to see Daniel Bryan. So no matter who was number 30, it was going to be a disaster. And then 2015, obviously, you could say in theory the right guy won because they were trying to build up Roman Reigns as the next guy, but the match was booked to shit. They eliminated all like the new talent early by having Kane and Big Show throw them out like a sack of shit. The guys like Dean Ambrose, the guys like Bray Wyatt, the guys like Dolph Ziggler, just to name a few. And the worst part was they had Daniel Bryan return from injury, and he was eliminated from the match, and then everybody just booted out of the building. But the match was really booked to shit. It was booked to shit. Roman Reigns got absolutely hated. It was so bad when Rusev came in, who was supposed to be the Russian sympathizer, they were chanting for Rusev. It was so bad that The Rock couldn't even save it. That's how bad 2015's Royal Rumble match. That match is a piece of shit. It might be the worst Royal Rumble match I've ever seen. And I think it's going to stay that way. Then we had 2016, and obviously that ended up being won by Triple H, who ended up winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And while I don't think that was necessarily a bad decision, did they really need to give Triple H another world title win and another Rumble victory? And the fact that it led to that pretty bad Roman Reigns Triple H match at WrestleMania 32, that was really bad. And then obviously 2017, the worst part about that was the WWE trolled the fans by throwing out Roman Reigns at number 30. And when we were expecting like this big surprise, either debut or return from either Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, or Prince Nevitt. So, yeah, that was shit. So then obviously it ended up being won by Randy Orton. But the only reason people were happy about it was because they didn't want to see Roman Reigns win it. But I remember that night John Cena had won a 16th World Championship. Then we realized that we were possibly going to get John Cena versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania. So no matter what, we were screwed on that one. So this was a chance for WWE to get it right. And obviously, going into this, it had been rumored for almost a year that Brock Lesnar was going to defend his WWE Universal Championship against Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. So we figured the WWE was going to have Roman Reigns win this Royal Rumble match, which would have been a tailboat decision because it's in Philadelphia, the same venue where Roman Reigns ended up getting booed out of the building when he won in 2015. So we were hoping the WWE wasn't going to be that stupid. And were they that stupid? Let's find out by me reviewing this match. So let's talk about this match. The commentary team for this match was Corey Graves, Michael Cole, Jerry the Kid Lawler, and Byron Saxton. What I kind of like was you had Corey Graves, who was kind of that free agent commentator who was commentating both Raw and SmackDown because the brand split was a thing, or still is a thing today. Michael Cole mainly commentated Raw. Jerry the Kid Lawler was kind of that like legend commentator, and Byron Saxton was that SmackDown commentator. So I thought that was pretty cool. And let's talk about this Royal Rumble match. Number 1 ended up being SmackDown's Rusev, and number 2 ended up Monday Night Raw's Prince Nevitt. What was cool is Aiden English came out and started singing the Rusev Day song, and obviously because Rusev Day was really over because this is when Rusev Day had kind of started to be a thing. Everybody chanted Rusev Day, to which the WWE still won't push Rusev. And Neville and Rusev go at it for a while. Then number 3 comes out, and it's Monday Night Raw's Rhino. And Rhino goes off on Rusev for a bit. Then Rusev cuts him off with a heel kick. Number 4 was SmackDown's Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin goes off on everybody for a bit. Rhino tries to hit a goal on him, but Corbin counters into a deep 6 and throws Rhino outside the ring, eliminated him. And then Corbin tries to charge Neville, and Neville ducks it and eliminates Baron Corbin. And then Corbin gets pissed. He attacks Prince Neville, throws him back first into the barricade, hits an end of days on Rusev on the floor, but he pulls him underneath the rope so they're not eliminated. And then he hits a chokeslam into a backbreaker on Neville. And then number 5 comes out. It's Monday Night Raw's Heath Slater. Heath Slater immediately gets hit with a clothesline, which I thought was funny. And everybody just is laid out. So then number 6 comes out. It's Monday Night Raw's Elias. And Elias comes out and performs his concert. He takes a cheap shot on Heath Slater right away. And Elias had done this gimmick where, it does this gimmick because this is 2018, where he performs a concert and somebody always interrupts him. So that's pretty much what this was. I thought he did great here. And number 7 was NXT's NXT champion, Andrade Cien, and he came out with his valet, Zelina Vega. And the big story coming out of this was Andrade Cien had just come off of a star-making performance in a 5-star match the previous night. So this was a chance for him to really make a star-making performance. He starts going off on Elias. He hits a double knees into the corner, goes for the Hammerlock DDT. Elias reverses it. And he even took a cheap shot. I forgot to mention, almost took a cheap shot at Heath Slater where he hits a high knee on Slater. And then we have number 8, Monday Night Raw's Bray Wyatt. He throws Slater into the barricade, and then he comes in and starts going off on everybody. Number 9 was SmackDown's Big E, and Big E feeds Heath Slater pancakes, which was funny. And number 10 was supposed to be SmackDown's Ty Dillinger, but Ty Dillinger doesn't come out. Instead, he's taken out by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And earlier in the night, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had a handicap match against AJ Styles, who was the WWE champion, who still is to this day. And they lost, so they wanted to, and they felt like they were cheated out of it, so they wanted to get another chance. So they took out Ty Dillinger in this match, and Sami Zayn took his place. And Sami Zayn also, too, was from SmackDown at this time. And he takes a cheap shot at Heath Slater on the way down. And then number 11 was Monday Night Raw's Sheamus. And Sheamus throws Slater into the ring, and Slater immediately eliminates Sheamus. So I liked it. I actually liked the running joke they did with Slater, where they kept cheap shotting him again and again. I wish they would have just done that the whole match. I thought that would have been funny. And then eventually Slater's gloating about the victory, and Bray Wyatt sneaks up from behind, hits a Sister Abigail on him, and then eliminates Heath Slater. Number 12 was SmackDown's Xavier Woods. Number 13 was Monday Night Raw's Apollo Crews. Number 14 was SmackDown's Shinsuke Nakamura. Number 15 was Monday Night Raw's Cesaro. Number 16 was SmackDown's Kofi Kingston. Number 17 was SmackDown's Jinder Mahal, who was accompanied by his manager, Sunil Sin. And Jinder Mahal eliminates... make sure I have this right. No, I missed one. So, throughout this match, Nakamura hit a knee into the corner onto Sami Zayn. Nakamura, by the way, was really over in this match, eliminated him. And then Cesaro hit an uppercut on Cruz, eliminated him. I thought Cruz and Cesaro had a nice altercation with each other. And then Jinder Mahal starts... Oh, hold on. I'll take that when I, let me see if I can... Gotta wait for this phone call to go away. Okay, so, yeah, so, I just fucking lost my place. But Jinder Mahal, so now I'm on the, yeah, so Nakamura, by the way, was over. I like the altercations between Cesaro and Cruz. Then, Jinder Mahal starts going to town on the New Day. He eliminates Xavier Woods and Big E, and then he tries to eliminate Kofi Kingston. Woods and Big E save him because they do this whole spot every year where Kofi Kingston has like a big way of saving himself from elimination in the Royal Rumble match. So then, damn it, I just lost my thing. So then, yeah, they saved Kofi Kingston, and he ends up going out on 1 foot. And then they end up using pancakes because this ended up being the New Day gimmick at the time. And they end up, Xavier Woods uses the New Day, uses Woods and Big E like a pogo stick to get into the ring. And then Kofi Kingston hits Trouble in Paradise on Mahal and eliminates him. And then, which I thought was a nice spot, it wasn't one of Kofi Kingston's best Royal Rumble saves. I think the best one's still been when he did the pogo stick with the commentary chair. I think that's probably the best one. That or probably the handstand. I think those would be probably the best two. And then immediately afterwards, he gets laid out by Andrade Cien Almas with the Hammerlock DDT and eliminated. So obviously it didn't work. And then we had number 19. It was Monday Night Wars, Woken Matt Hardy. I've obviously missed some eliminations. I actually missed an entrance. Number 18 was Monday Night Wars, Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins did very well in this match. He ended up eliminating Cesaro with a monkey flip over the top rope, which was really cool. And then number 19 was Monday Night Wars, Woken Matt Hardy. And Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were part of a feud at the time because they were trying to do a thing where Matt Hardy came in from TNA and he was doing the broken gimmick in TNA, obviously, as everybody knows. And then he finally was able to do the broken gimmick when he came back to WWE because TNA kept, because Matt kept claiming they owned the rights to it, but Matt Hardy claimed they didn't. So the WWE found a loophole and called it Woken instead of Broken, which was a unique thing, which was a nice loophole. And I liked the feud between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. At first, they start working together. They both eliminate Rusev, which everybody booed because they really liked Rusev. And then Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt eliminate each other because they just want to get their hands on each other. And then number 20 comes out. It's free agent John Cena. And everybody just beats up John Cena's like a pack of wolves, which was really cool. And eventually, Elias takes his shirt off. And John Cena then ends up eliminating Elias, which made sense since they, we knew this was coming because they had done a segment on the Go Home show on Monday Night Raw before the Rumble where Elias laid out Cena, so we knew Cena was going to get his redemption, so obviously that was going to happen. And then number 21 was free agent the Hurricane. He came out. He was actually pretty cool. John Cena kind of was what? The Hurricane, and it was a nice surprise entrance. And Hurricane tries to choke slam Cena, but Cena picks him up into a fireman's carry position and jumps him over the top rope. And then number 22 was SmackDown's Aiden English, who was immediately eliminated by Prince Neville pretty much. And then number 23 was NXT's Adam Cole, who was all taped up because of a street fight the previous night. He actually looked pretty strong in the match. Number 24 was SmackDown's Randy Orton. And Almas tries to hit a springboard crossbody onto Orton, but he catches him into an RKO, and Orton eliminates Almas. Number 25 was Monday Night Raw's Titus O'Neil, and obviously that really wasn't that special of an entrance. Number 26 was Monday Night, and I forgot to mention too, Seth Rollins was one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions. I forgot to mention that. Number 26 was Monday Night Raw's Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, who was accompanied by Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, since they were part of the Miz Tourage at the time. And number 27 was free agent Rey Mysterio. Now, I remember watching this, and I did a live reaction to this match. It's in the Royal Rumble 2018 live reactions. And I did not expect to see Rey Mysterio. I think, it was a big surprise because usually I try not to read the spoilers the day of a Royal Rumble match, so that way I can see who the surprise entrances are going to be, and that's obviously why I hold off on that. So that's why, I waited. And then, and when he came out, he looked like he was in great shape because I hadn't seen him wrestle since his last run in WWE in 2014. And compared to what he looks like now, because obviously this is still 2018, he looked like in great shape. He lost a ton of weight, and he looked better than ever. And that just proves that taking time off at WWE sometimes is the thing. And he was eliminated immediately by Adam Cole. Well, no, he immediately eliminated Adam Cole, which was cool. He had a 619 on Miz. Then we had number 28, which was Monday Night Raw's Roman Reigns, who was massively booed because obviously it's in Philadelphia. And everyone, pretty much everywhere you go, Roman Reigns is hated. So he goes off on everybody. He eliminates Titus O'Neil, and he gets to the person he really wants to get his hands on, and that's The Miz, because he had taken his Intercontinental Championship from him on the Go Home episode of Raw. So he goes to throw him over the top rope. Miz, Taraj, Dallas, and Axel save him. Reigns hits a Superman punch on both of them, and Rollins and Reigns hit a double powerbomb onto Miz on the outside and eliminate him. And then eventually Roman Reigns eliminates Seth Rollins. And the tie-in here was Reigns and Rollins were once members of the Shield, and they had just recently reformed. So this obviously was supposed to kind of show like, hey, it's every man for himself. Number 29 was Goldust, which really wasn't all that special. And Goldust was eliminated. Well, actually, no, he comes in. And then number 30, we thought number 30 was going to be like this great entrant, and it ended up being Dolph Ziggler. Now, this kind of, in a sense, was special because Dolph Ziggler at Clash of Champions had won the United States title, and then on the SmackDown following, he ended up just dropping it into the ring and walked out. So we were supposed to have thought storyline-wise he was retired, but we knew he was coming back at some point. So this was the first time we had seen him since he had walked out. And then he comes out, gets no reaction. I'm wondering if the fans wanted Daniel Bryan because because this is when Daniel Bryan was trying to get cleared to wrestle again. So obviously, they wanted to see Daniel Bryan, or if it was because it was just a lame entrant. And I'm not really that big of a Dolph Ziggler fan, so I really didn't care. But he looked bad in this match. He was off the step. He blew all his spots that he was supposed to do, and it was just bad. But he gets eliminated. He eliminates Goldust and then immediately gets eliminated by Prince Devitt, and he lasted 2 minutes and 1 second in this match. So they did that big storyline with Dolph Ziggler for nothing. And then it's down to the final 6, and I kind of liked the way they did this setup. The final 6 were Roman Reigns, Prince Devitt, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio. Now, what was cool about this was they do this spot where the 3 new generation guys and the 3 guys of the past go into the separate into their corners, and they did like a new school versus old school match. John Cena went after Prince Devitt, Randy Orton went after Nakamura, and Rey Mysterio went after Roman Reigns. I personally probably would have changed this up and had Cena go after Reigns, and then obviously Mysterio go after Balor or Devitt, and Orton go after. Well, I guess I would have left that the same. Just because Cena was the face of the Ruthless Aggression PG era, and Reigns is the face of the nowadays era, so I thought that would have made sense. But at first, the old guard gets the upper hand. Rey Mysterio hits a 619 and a splash on Reigns. Cena hits an AA on Devitt. Orton hits an RKO on Nakamura, and then Cena and Orton go at it, and Mysterio hits a 619 on Cena and Reigns, and then eventually Roman Reigns eliminates Randy Orton. I forget how, but he did. And then Devitt eliminates Mysterio. And then we're down to the final 4. It's Prince Devitt, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, and Roman Reigns. Now, what was interesting about this match is the WWE played up on this. because the WWE knew Cena and Reigns were guys we didn't want to see win because it was the WWE going back to the same old guys. But we wanted to see Prince Nevitt and Shinsuke Nakamura win. These were two guys everybody had loved, and they would have represented change. So it was kind of like the indie fans versus who Vince McMahon wanted. It was really cool, and everybody goes at it with each other, and then Cena and Reigns are about to have a face-off. The crowd, the fans chant, "You both suck" at him, and Nevitt and Nakamura cut them off. Nevitt and Nakamura go at it for a bit, but then they get cut off by Cena and Reigns, and everybody just starts going, and then Cena and Reigns go at it. They get cut off by Nevitt and Nakamura, and Nevitt starts beating everybody up. He hits a slim blade and a dropkick in the quarter on everybody, and then Nakamura is able to fight him off. He goes for the Kinshasa. Nevitt counters into a double stomp, and then Cena eliminates Prince Nevitt, so then it's down to Cena, Reigns, and Nakamura. And Cena and Reigns worked heels in this match. Everybody wanted to see Shinsuke Nakamura win this match, and no one wanted to see Cena and Reigns win, so they worked the heels. They double-teamed Nakamura, and then Cena and Reigns went at it, and then Cena hits his 5 moves of doom on Reigns. He goes for the AA. Reigns counters into a Superman punch, and then he goes for the spear. And he actually shoves Nakamura away like a sack of shit, which was funny. And then he goes for the spear. Cena counters into the AA. And then Nakamura goes for the reverse exploder suplex. Cena counters. He goes for a suplex himself. Nakamura hands him up on the ropes and hits a Kinshasa on Cena, eliminating Cena. So then it's down to Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns. And at this point, when I was watching it, I thought Nakamura was screwed. I thought he was screwed once Cena and Reigns were in it. But then Shinsuke Nakamura and Roman Reigns went at it. And they actually had a pretty good altercation with each other. Nakamura did a triangle choke over the ropes. Reigns hit a spear on him. But then eventually Nakamura hits a Kinshasa and throws Reigns over the top rope. And he wins the Royal Rumble match. And then Renee Young interviews him and asks which championship he's going to choose to wrestle for. Either the WWE Universal Championship, which was held by Brock Lesnar, or the WWE Championship, which was held by AJ Styles. And he chose AJ Styles. And they went on to have their match at WrestleMania, the Dream match, which unfortunately was still a really good match, but was a little bit underwhelming. And then Nakamura lost, and he ended up turning heel, and he's having a match tonight for the WWE Championship. And he's actually been a great heel, so overall Nakamura has benefited from this win. And the WWE still were able to go with Roman Reigns. They had him win a Elimination Chamber match at the next pay-per-view where he ended up becoming the #1 contender to the WWE Universal Championship, and then he lost, and now he's facing Brock Lesnar tonight to try to win the title for a second time. So that's just weird. Then, as for the other wrestlers, let's go over where everybody else is. Let's go over the commentary team first. Now, this match was so recent that really no one really went anywhere. Like, people went places from it, but everybody's kind of in the same position, sort of, too, because this match was 4 months ago, so, yeah. But let's go over the commentary team. Byron Saxton is still commentating on SmackDown. Michael Cole is still the play-by-play guy on Raw. Corey Graves still does both shows, and Jerry the King Lawler still has a part-time schedule. They did a funny spot with Jerry the King Lawler where he kept changing his pick in the Royal Rumble match. At first it was Jinder Mahal, then it was John Cena, then it was Rey Mysterio, then it was Roman Reigns, and neither of those picked one, so I thought that was funny. And Byron Saxton had Shinsuke Nakamura all along, so I thought that was funny. So let's go over where everybody else is. Rusev is still on SmackDown. He's facing The Undertaker tonight in a casket match. Well, it already has, but I'm going because I'm watching it tonight. So, Prince Nevitt ended up wrestling in a triple threat match with The Miz and Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship and lost. And he's wrestling Samoa Joe, Miz, and Nevitt all in a ladder match at the Greatest Royal Rumble for the title. Rhino's pretty much still enhancement talent. He's still a tag team with Heath Slater, known as Beauty and the Man Beast. Baron Corbin's in the same spot. He was just recently traded to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup. Heath Slater is the same thing as Rhino, pretty much. Elias is in the same spot. Andrade Cien Almas just recently lost the NXT Championship at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and he was called up to the main roster on SmackDown with Selena Vega. Bray Wyatt continued his feud with Woken Matt Hardy, and they did the Ultimate Deletion on an episode of Raw where he lost, and then he helped Woken Matt Hardy win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and now they're a tag team. They're wrestling the bar tonight for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships. Big E really is in the same spot. Sami Zayn was just recently traded over the Raw in the Superstar Shakeup. Ty Dillinger's in the same spot he was in. Sheamus was just recently traded over to SmackDown due to the Superstar Shakeup. Also wrestling with Cesaro. Later on in the night, the Bar ended up beating Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Xavier Woods in the same spot that he's in now. Apollo Crews in the same spot that he's in now. I already kind of mentioned what number 14 was. 15, Cesaro's in the same spot Sheamus is in. Number 16, Kofi Kingston's in the same spot that he's in now. Jinder Mahal was just drafted, ended up winning the United States Championship at WrestleMania in a fatal 4-way match that involved Rusev, Randy Orton, and Bob. And let me just get my notes because I got to make sure I say it every time I am on camera. So the other person that was in that United States Championship match was Robert Bob, Bobby Roode, Total Lee, Awesome, Mark Roode. And Jinder Mahal ended up winning, and then he obviously was traded to Raw due to the Superstar Shakeup, then lost the United States Championship to Jeff Hardy. He's having a rematch for it tonight. Seth Rollins won the Intercontinental Championship match in that triple threat match at Mania, and then obviously I already kind of mentioned where he is. Woken Matt Hardy, I already mentioned where he is. John Cena, after this, tried to go on a quest to find his road to WrestleMania, and then eventually found it at WrestleMania. The Hurricanes, still kind of a free agent that works indies. Aiden English is in the same spot that Rusev is in pretty much, except not as over. Adam Cole ended up winning the North American Championship at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. It's the first one ever, and he's the leader of the faction known as the Undisputed Era, and he's also co-winner of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy. Randy Orton just recently won the United States Championship from Robert Bob, Bobby Roode, Totally Awesome, Mark Roode. Titus O'Neil is in the same spot that he's in now. The Miz was just recently, I already mentioned that he lost his title, but he was recently traded over to SmackDown due to the Superstar Shakeup, and Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel just recently disbanded the Miz Taraj. Rey Mysterio is a free agent. He's actually going to be wrestling at the Greatest Royal Rumble, and he's working New Japan shows. He's currently injured right now. Actually, well, I guess he wouldn't be, but I obviously mentioned Roman Reigns. Goldust is in the same spot, and Dolph Ziggler just recently was traded over to Monday Night Raw and is in a tag team with Drew McIntyre. And Kevin Owens, I didn't mention, but he was also traded over to Raw with Sami Zayn. So there you go. That's everybody from the match. And overall, this match is a great Rumble match. This is probably the best Rumble match since, well, probably the right winner since 2010 for me. But the best match, the last really great Rumble match, I don't think, I remember not really liking 2010s all that much. So maybe it was the last one since 2009. So it had been a while since we had seen a great Rumble match where the right guy won and stuff. But then again, 2016 wasn't all that bad either. I liked 2016's Rumble match. So, but the last one where the right guy won and everything was since 2009. It was where it was a great match and the right guy won. So it had been a while since we had both parties involved. And obviously, I think it worked out. And I definitely have a better perspective when I review it now versus and not when I review it, when I watched it now, because when I was watching it live, when I didn't know who was going to win, I was just dreading it because I thought Roman Reigns was going to win, and he didn't win. And but now when you watch it, it's actually a great match that tells a great story. So I definitely would recommend this match. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this videos for more content. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content, and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.